everybody. Welcome to our fifth and final session in our five-part series of design thinking, breaking apart each phase so that you can see how you can design learner experiences that drive business results by using a design thinking approach. Today is all about testing that prototype that you built and bringing that back to see if it really makes an impact on your learner audience. My name is Brittany Cole. I am the Director of Learning Experience and Innovation at GP Strategies, and I am so excited to be your guide throughout this series of how we can use a design thinking approach to design learning experiences. Let's go back and level set it when we think about and how we define design thinking. It's truly a way or a method to solve problems with a human-centered mindset. So as you think about design thinking, it complements so well, like peas and carrots, with how we design learning experiences, because it's all about the learner. And if we put our learner and our employees at the center of our interventions, whether it's training, performance support, a blended journey over the course of time, and it's and we think of it in a way that's for the learner, so they can thrive in their work and improve in their role and have better days at work. They're going to not only be engaged, they're going to perform better, and they're going to kind of want to come back for more. So again, really complementary methods with what we're trying to achieve as learning professionals. Design thinking is typically a 5-phase process. You start with empathize, where you get to know who your learners are. You then define that problem. You define after you understand your learners, because knowing your learners is going to help you define that problem statement and how you might help them. Then once you rally around that problem statement, you can ideate solutions and come up with everything, no matter how big or how small. And from those ideas, you can rank and start to see which ones really can make the biggest impact for maybe the least amount of effort. And you can put that together in a prototype or a wireframe or storyboard that you can ultimately test with your audience. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how you do that, some practical tips and tricks around the test phase. Just a quick review. Design thinking, again, is a process or a method and really just an approach that focuses on 3 main tenets: know your learners or your employees, know your problem. So again, you're agreeing of what you're all trying to solve, and quickly taking action by testing solutions. And so it's an action-oriented approach. It's not a wait and see. It's a mindset shift with maybe some of your teammates of how they solve problems and how they tackle them. Because you're really taking a particular problem, which could be a skills and knowledge issue, which could allude to training, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's something bigger, and there's a variety of interventions, and you can try to take action by testing a variety of those solutions. So, okay, if we think about where we are in this phase, we have now prototyped something. We have mocked up a solution of what we think is going to solve that problem for the learner audience, and now we are at a point to test that out, so to implement it with our learners. And what we want to do during this phase is answer 3 main questions. Is 1, did it work? And if so, or if not, how did it work? Did learners like it? So that goes back to some of the different levels of evaluation, and that's at level 1, which is still important. Did learners enjoy the solution? But ultimately, when we think about the underlying why, using design thinking, did it solve the problem? Did it work? And to what extent? And so the testing phase is not just saying if they liked it and if they think they'll come back. So it's not just consumption, but it's really about that impact piece. Did it make a difference? To what extent? And now how do we adjust? Or, how do we change our direction based on the results of the test phase? When we think about the test phase, we are putting ourselves in a somewhat vulnerable position, because we're often teeing up a solution that's not fully baked, right? We're giving this out where we're saying, imagine what this looks like in a full-on solution, and you're not just sharing this with the subject matter expert or the ops team or your business partner, but you're bringing in the learners. You're bringing in the learners' leaders. And you want all of those different perspectives from when you did those learner personas and you built out that matrix of who your learner profiles are. And it's a time for you to sit back, take a deep breath, maybe a short one, and wait for all that feedback to come in. Because all that feedback is going to be really the data that you are going to use to determine whether, one, you move forward and you continue on with the solution, you shift a little bit and you change, and maybe you go back and you tweak your prototype, or you might, when you get the data, say, this is not the direction we want to go. We are not getting the data that we hypothesized, and we ditch the solution and we start again. And you might start again and go back to another idea that you generated, or you might get some insights to say, look, we might actually be solving the wrong problem, and there's a new problem that's emerged or a different problem that's emerged, and we have to go back to, we have to redefine. So when we think about the things that we can learn in the test phase, it's really quite valuable. Because again, you can, when you think about what you want to test, you want to talk about, again, engagement and whether I enjoyed it, but also usability and functionality. Even if you're giving a prototype that's not completely finished, right? So if you're building a digital solution and you're only showing a component of it, or if you're only showing a series of screenshots that you built or a faux app that you might have built in PowerPoint, you can still test usability and functionality, because you can ask people or you can monitor them during their interaction with that prototype of where are they wanting to click, what are they wanting to do, and really it's going to give you a grasp whether the problem that you want to solve can be done with that learning strategy. And so again, this is a time where you're going to be honest with yourself, and this is a challenging phase, because I will tell you, I have built solutions using a design thinking approach, and we have got to this phase, and by the time we've gotten here, we've done so much work, right? We've done interviews. We have done a series of activities to define the problem. We have had brainstorming solutions where we have sticky notes all over the board, and we're ranking and rating, and we actually go and we prototype something that takes a level of effort, and we test it, and we realize that this is not what we want. It's not what the learners want. It's not going to fix the problem to maybe the depth that we want, and it forces us to ask ourselves, do we change directions? And sometimes as learning professionals, because we might have invested so much time and energy to that point, it's hard to turn back. But because you might only be prototyping a part of a solution, it makes it easier to do so. So what are some ways you can test? What are some different types of activities? Obviously, surveys are going to be a key piece of it. When you think about it's the level of testing and retesting, and even more than once, consider retesting with different user markets, right? Getting that diverse group of people. So even taking the same prototype and asking a different set of questions or framing it in a different way. Another one is going back to your interview phase and having interviews with those learners again and asking them, was this solution usable? Did it work in the workflow? Was it of value to you? And asking about those those highs and lows, and take that all in. So again, you can get survey results, get hard quantitative data, but don't forget that qualitative information too. So again, when we think about the impact, this is the phase where you're actually able to define that impact. You might have been around for the entire phase. Your subject matter expert has been able to be a part of this as well too, and this is a chance for you to level set to say, look, this is the problem you wanted to solve. We went down this path, but look, it's not garnering the impact that you wanted. So this can be not only enlightening for us as learning professionals, but also for our clients. And really what we want from our learners is a solution that works, and a solution that helps them perform better in their jobs or improves engagement or whatever the problem you are trying to solve. And so this is a chance for you to say, look, is this the right piece? And where can we tweak? What can we change? And what can we go back to? So even if you get as far as prototype and you feel that a lot of effort that you don't want to turn back. I would argue that the test phase isn't just a means to confirm, but it's a means to validate your defined phase, whether you're truly solving that problem. Well, friends, we are at the end of our design thinking series. I am so thrilled that you've been able to stick with me over the 5 sessions to learn about each phase of design thinking. Remember, this is only a snapshot of what me and my team can help facilitate for you and help you run your own design thinking workshop or solutioning as you think about using design thinking to help design learner experiences. Thanks again, and look forward to hearing from you soon.